My name's Patrick Kiernan, and I'm going to be your MC today. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our second English presentation contest. Before we start, I just have one small announcement to make regarding the order of presentations. We decided the order of presentations based on drawing straws, but we've had one group of presenters. One of the presenters is a little bit sick today, so we've had a slight change of order from that printed. Sorry, judges also, this is important. The first presenter today will be the one marked as number 8, Shosha Trading Company Connecting to the World. That's Shuto Tokaji and Kaiki Mizunuma. Okay? So the one listed as first, Explore Iceberg, will then come 8th. Okay, so those two presentations will be swapped in order. Okay, all right then. Now I would like to move on, and first of all, Professor E is going to give you a few words of welcome and introduce our special guest today, Ms. Michelle Yamamoto. Okay, Professor E.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome to the second English presentation contest of the School of Business Administration. I'm pleased to inform you that there are 10 participating groups today who are going to share their ideas with you or with us. I'm also very much delighted and honored to have a special guest speaker, Ms. Michelle Yamamoto, who is a renowned broadcaster, journalist, and she's fluent in English, Japanese, French, and also in German. I'm sure many of you have already seen her in English news program on NHK World. She's going to give us a little talk about the importance of communicating in English. She's also going to be a judge, serve as a judge today. We also have today with us our Dean, Professor Abe, and honorable judges, Professors Kikuchi, Kianan, Sumi, Aoki, and myself, I think. Yeah. Before I forget, I'm going to inform you, I would like to remind you that there will be an explanatory session for studying abroad here on this campus on November 21st at 6 o'clock in room number, I think, 403 or something. So those who are interested in that, please come to that session. Back to the English presentation session, contest. Well, I wish that all the participants will feel at home and do their best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now it's my great pleasure to welcome Ms. Michelle Yamamoto, our guest speaker and specially invited judge for today. Michelle, could you give Michelle a warm welcome, please?
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Yamamoto. Nice to meet you all. It's a true pleasure to be here today. I'm very, very excited. And Professor Yi has told me a lot about you and your contest. And I've been looking forward to this day for quite a long time. Okay, and I was asked by Professor to talk to you a little about the purpose of broadcasting globally in English. As Professor Yi has told you just right now, I work for NHK World. Can I ask you, who here has ever heard or seen NHK World? Can I see some hands? Wow, quite a lot. I'm quite surprised. Thank you very much. Because usually it's not so known in Japan. Not very many people know about it. Then, of course, everyone knows NHK, but they're like, NHK World? What's that? Well, I'd like to tell you a little bit about NHK World and its history and what I do there. And when I finished university, I graduated University of Tsukuba, and after that, I went on with my career in NHK as a journalist. And I was placed and stationed in Kyoto, and I worked as a reporter and journalist for quite some time. And then I moved on as being an announcer and reporter, and now I'm stationed in Shibuya. And there I am in charge of 6 programs on TV and radio, and they're all in English. And it's aired across 130 countries and regions at the moment. And some of you might already know, but it's also on smartphone and homepage, internet. There's live streaming all the time for 24 hours. So if you'd like to listen to English news about Japan or international news, you might like to check that out as well. So, and well, as I said, you know, NHK is a Japanese broadcaster, and it has quite a long history. And it started off with its Japanese radio program in 1925. So that's when it started. And only 10 years after, in 1935, they started the first English radio program that was aired towards Hawaii. And radio has quite a long history, but then TV comes after that. And the first Japanese television program in Japan started with NHK in 1953. And this year, I think all of you noticed that it's been the 60th anniversary, so they had like anniversary programs for quite since like last year and this year. They've been going on with that. But unfortunately, radio, it took only like 10 years to turn into English. But TV was a whole different story. It took a very, very long time. And Japanese started in 1953. English started in 1995. It's quite recent. It's quite late. And it took 42 years for the English programming to start. Now it's 24 hours English broadcast. But until then, being 24 hours was quite recent as well. It's like 5 years since it turned really into 24 hours. So we're trying to catch up with BBC and CNN, and we're working hard on it right now. Okay, history and talk about this, I can blabber on and on, so I won't go on much further. If you're interested in going into broadcasting, or if you like news and broadcasting, you might like to look that up as well on the internet. So let's get to the point. But then why NHK does their programs in English? That's the point. And there are many objectives on that. For example, before and during World War I and World War II, they had English programming as well. Can anyone guess why? Any hands? Why did they need English programming? Would you like to? Yes, you. Because I saw your eyes. Do you have any idea? From Japan.
I'm afraid I don't have any idea.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyone have an idea? Okay. Can you stand up?
Because I think they had to know about their enemy, about the Americas or whatever. So many countries they use English and for spying skills or military things. I think. Yeah.
Great, thanks very much. That's a very good point. And you're right on the target point there. That's right. We use that for propaganda, but most of the time. And maybe, have you heard of Tokyo Rose? Yes? It's quite famous among some people. The professors are all nodding their head like that. But I don't see any nodding heads among the students, so maybe you might look that up. It's quite interesting. It's, when you look it up, you should Google with Tokyo in kanji and Rose in katakana. Or else you might get Akina Nakamori's song all the time. She has a song called Tokyo Rose, and if you Google Tokyo Rose, most of it turns up to be her song. So, well, that was a generic name given for a dozen of female broadcasters during the World War II, and that was the propaganda. And many of the American soldiers listened to that radio and were quite influenced in many ways, so it became very, very popular. So looking into that history is quite interesting as well, so you might be interested. But also, it was propaganda, but there was one more thing that was quite important. It was for the immigrants who lived abroad. There were very many immigrants who were living in various places around the world, and they wanted information from Japan. So that was a very big information source. And presently as well, we broadcast most of the things for the Japanese residents outside of Japan, and also and also for the foreigners who are interested in Japan. There's no more propaganda, but we try to get across what Japan is thinking and our culture, our history, what's going on in the news, and that's the kind of thing that we do at the moment. So we provide importance. We think it's important to transmit domestic and also international news to the world accurately and promptly. So it's 24 hours. The news is on top of the hour every time for 30 minutes. And to present the broadcast with speed and Japanese culture, lifestyles, recent developments, society, politics, science, blah, 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 all those kind of things. So we have quite a various different programs all the time. I'm also in charge of doing a science program called Science View. So we get to meet Professor Yamanaka. We had him in the studio for 3 times. So we got to hear what he had to say to the world, and we were the first to do that as a TV broadcaster just before his Nobel Prize. And also what's very important is that we want to foster mutual understanding between Japan and the other countries. That's the most difficult part, and that's the thing that I think has to do with you. Knowing how to communicate in English, knowing how to tell the people what you really think, and to tell them what they are in English properly, means that there won't be any more misunderstandings, and you can talk about Japan. And also today's theme, connecting individuals to the world, is your theme. And that's what I also do, and that's what NHK does. And I interview various people in different fields and broadcast globally to connect those people with the world. And then, what is it that I can do, and what is it that you can do? When I was finishing off my university years, the thing that I wanted to do was to connect the world, to be a bridge with Japanese culture, to use my language skills. Because I felt that there were so many things in the news or in the TV that was so wrong. I was studying in Germany, and I had my history book, and there was a chapter about Japan, and there was a black and white picture, and there was a family cooking, and it was a picture of doma. Do you know what a doma is? It's a Japanese old-style kitchen, and it's not concrete, it's soil. It's like half outside, half inside. So that was the kind of kitchen they had in my 1990s history book. So they were way behind. So my friends asked me, Michelle, how is it that you live a life with a paper house, and you have a kitchen with soil, and you still have Sony? How can you do that? So there was a really big misunderstanding. So it was up to us to tell them the true Japan. Okay. And that's a very big thing that I want to ask you, that I want to ask you to study hard, study English a lot. And I want you to be able to improve your English skills and your presentation skills so that you can convey what you're thinking. And also, since, of course, Olympic is in the air all the time right now, 2020 is going to be your time. It's not going to be our time. It's not going to be the professor's time anymore. We're going to be too old. But you are going to be in the front line. You are the ones who are going to be the key players. Well, athletes also are important. But you might be businessmen, you might be teachers. I don't know what you might be doing. You might be a broadcaster too, not sure. But you are the ones who are going to be in the front line. And you have to tell the world about Japan. So you have a very big and important task. But I was looking back in my days when I used to live in the States and other countries as well. But presentation, I thought that it was very good that you're having a presentation contest, because in Japan you don't have very many presentation contests in schools, or it's usually among very secluded areas or like among small classes, etc. And in my school we didn't have that either, so we didn't have that much chance. But you're going to have to compete and do presentation with people who's been doing presentations since their kindergarten years. When I was in the States, they did show and tells, a mini version of presentation, since they were like 3, 4, 5. And they had 5 minutes of talk, 2 minutes of Q&A, even though you're a kindergarten student. So they have that in their life for a very long time. So what you need is getting used to and doing presentation as much as possible. If you get a chance, look for the place, do it. So I'm really looking forward to listening to your presentation today as well. And also there is a great merit and opportunity within that, because since there are not very many people who are really confident in doing presentations around me, around you, I'm not sure. But if you get that groove, if you get that notion of knowing that presentation is a skill that you should enjoy and that you should cherish, because that is very, very powerful. If you can do it, you can get so much things done. You can get so much business around you. And you will be so much more confident when you talk in front of people. Public speaking is very difficult. But that's also got to do with getting used to. So I think you have a great chance here today, and great teachers among you, and great students and friends around you as well. You have the chance. So you can change so much things around you, and also in Japan. And also, I only have a minute and a half left, so I'd like to wrap up. And as I said, you're the guys who are going to be in front line, fighting and working and changing Japan. So I would like for you to understand that I want you to be, in a way, my colleague. I want you to know that you're going to be the ones who hold the keys to connect the world and Japan. You are the one who has the keys in your hands. And I want you to hold that tight and stick it in that keyhole and turn it and open the door for us. And I know that you have the power because you're here today. You're the ones who are in front line. So I wish you all the luck for today's presentation, and I look forward to talking to you afterwards. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck, everyone.
Well, thank you very much, Michelle, for a very inspiring presentation, and absolutely on topic there for our connecting to individuals to the world. Thank you very much. So I'd like to welcome our first group of presenters. The title of the presentation is Shosha Trading Company, Connecting to the World, and our presenters are Shuto Tokaji and Kaiki Mizunuma. If you'd like to come to the front, please. Thank you.
Hello everybody. Proud of Japan, Shosha. This is the title of the presentation. Before diving into the subject, please let me introduce ourselves. My name is Kaiki Mizunuma. His name is Shuto Tokaji. We belong to Kak Seminar. We are glad to announce at this place. Let's go to the presentation. Well, we delving into the subject. We talk about the shosha. What do you think of when you heard this word? Perhaps the image will not come out. I did not come out. I will explain briefly. Shosha is a trading company in English. It will be easy to imagine a shosha. We speak in such a procedure, history, status quo, future. We will talk in this order. First, we wonder what is a shosha. We solve it in terms of value and law. Law is mainly 2 points. It is trade and total coordinates. Knowing the difference between manufacturer, it is easy to understand. Please look at this figure. It is in such relationship. Manufacturers are supplying goods and service to customers. On the other hand, shosha not only customers deal with business even for manufacturers. Shosha perform the total coordinates for them. In other words, shosha established by coordinator wide range. This form is unique to Japan, therefore shosha origin in Japan. Shosha was born in Japan. It advanced the world soon. However, for this reason, company took global expansion is difficult. Japanese companies must solve these problems. Company to resolve the issue, they have to know oneself. There is a feature of these Japanese companies for the relation to understand them. Many companies across the world, in addition, these businesses were wide-ranging. In this way, shosha had penetrated the world.
For me, while giving an example, I would like to explain current and the future of shosha. First, I will explain current shosha. And shosha is very successful. And expansion of the scale of company, and shosha is spread businesses, and shosha is getting a high awareness. Shosha succeeds in this way, but what kind of business model? But what kind of business model would 우리 social gain success with There is two patterns. Pattern one is trade. Trade is traditional forms. And pattern two is business investment. Business investment is new forms. Recently, these new forms grows rapidly, and new forms include industrial. For example, they invested in mine companies and run a coal mine. Next, I will explain future prospects. At first, there is such a background in explaining the prospect. By development of other countries, balance of the value and technology becomes problems. Therefore, we must pioneer of new forms. What is pioneer's business? What we think is business environment. There is a company having the business. For example, Mitsubishi Corporation. The Mitsubishi Corporation has a company idea, which is kind to environment and pass profit without thinking about at hand profit. In this way, social in Japan grows up consistently. Finally, social that Japan produced originally carries on important role to connect world, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to open up the floor now to questions. We have about 3 minutes for questions. If you'd like to ask a question, if you could just raise your hand.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. My question is the very last. You explained about the social and the relationship with connecting the world, but I don't understand how social connecting something to the world. So could you tell me some example of which social, something like a work for blah blah, and then connecting the world? So that is very helpful.
Recently, because many various countries begin to use the business model like social.
Next question from Professor Abe.
Thank you very much. Good presentation. And my question is much more easier than Professor Aoki. So I see your point. You divided. Of course, you use the word rather difficult word, status quo. Status quo is a rather difficult word maybe for the Japanese student. And and the status quo and the future trading companies' role is to not only trade but investment. So many people are saying the future of trading companies, especially general trading companies, future lies in not only trade between Japan and foreign countries, but also investment inside in Japan and outside Japan. Maybe you mentioned some examples, and but I think there is some risk in investment, different from trade itself, high risk or maybe high return. So what do you think about some careful points when trading companies launch in investment, sometimes high risk investment? What's the point you trading companies should think about such a risk? What's the point, especially?
Sorry, please say it again.
When company launch in investment projects, there must be some risk. So what kind of risk can you think about?
I'm sorry to say that we're on a very, very tight schedule here, and we'll have to move on to the next group of presenters, unless you can quickly answer. Okay. All right then. Okay. Oh, you want to answer your own question? Okay, thank you very much.
Maybe if you make a project, very bold projects, maybe you should have get enough information about that area, about that project, to get good information. Enough information is very important. That's one of my answers.
Thank you very much for that advice. Okay, and thank you very much for our first presentation. And okay, could we just give them a hand of applause, please? And very quickly, if I could ask our next group on the topic of the educational system of Japanese retailing industry in China. I'd like to welcome Nana Kawagoe and Ryuichi Takeshita.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Ryuichi and her name is Nana. Today we are going to talk about the educational system of Japanese retailing industry in China. At the beginning, our introduction, we describe what corporate education is. Corporate education is training the teaching ability needed by corporation. The purpose of education is that companies can exist and grow forever. Against corporate education, there is headhunting. This is advantageous in terms of reducing the educational cost. However, the purpose of the company is to grow. So, from the view of long-term goals, corporate education is better than headhunting. As another background, there is management system of lifetime employment in Japan. By this system, a long-term training is enabled, and this brings highly effective to corporate education system in Japan. Next, let's move on the previous research In this section, describe the characteristics of Chinese employees compared with Japanese. There are three differences: career change society, service culture, and national character. First, career change society. Because Chinese have strong self-assertion, they tend to seek a good working place even as possible. Look at this data. According to the data of Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, compared with Japan, the ratio of employees who leave retailing industry has doubled in China. Moreover, employees are accounted for about 70% of its turnover rate. For Chinese to choose the work by themselves is a legitimate right and obligation. In other words, the career change is the culture for Chinese. Second, service culture. In Japan, retailing industry is considered as service industry. However, in China, because it has been doing planned economy in the past, remains of the rationing system is still left. Therefore, Chinese tend to look down on customers. As a result, spirit of service, such as in Japan, will not be understood by Chinese employees. In China, the words to express the gratitude are not used for service. For example, welcome or thank you. The point of thinness of their service culture like this also quite different from Japan. Finally, national character. China has been colonized in the late 19th century as the background of producing for Chinese individualism. Since they are still suffering from a huge poverty and population, also condition of the social security system is weak, they will not be able to rely on the nation. So they must secure their lives and themselves. The fact has produced individualism and utilitarianism. Also in China, there is the idea that when talented people gather, they can demonstrate their ability to each other. This reason is Chinese have strong personality and take care of their self-assertion. In other words, we can say Chinese national character can't be suited to teamwork that requires the spirit of cooperation. Therefore, we developed one hypothesis through our earlier research. Educational system of Japanese retail industry can't work in China. In order to make clear this, we conducted research with using CIY, Chinese Ito-Yokado Company, as example.
Okay, let's move on the content of proof research. First of all, we are going to explain about the content of the educational system of GIY, Musashi Sakai, Tokyo. They manage their business based on the idea that treat an employee as essential resources and think a customer as the most important. They produce study and training program which provided types of jobs and type of levels for new employees. Not only them, but also administrators, company conduct seminar by outside instructor and study and training program of management in order to support the growth of employees. Like this, company adopts a long-term educational system. Next, let's move on to the content of education of CIY. CIY selected Seito as the first place, where the first store built. And now, there are 5 stores in there. By the way, how did CIY success? I'm going to explain about how the educational system of CIY is conducting. They adopt an idea customer is the most important and the highest priority as Japanese system, and put a great deal of effort into the customer service. Also, they introduce through-going educational system like OJT, education program for new employees, and self-development. Look at this data. In fact, the result of CIY is rising every year by introducing the same educational system as Japan. As you know from this, our hypothesis is proved that not stand up. However, as we mentioned before, Japanese educational system needs cooperation each other. We mentioned Chinese are lack of cooperative. In spite of this, why this hypothesis can stand up? This reason is that education of mental side is conducted in CIY. They regard OJT as more important than OJT. So we thought that a result of adopting OJT, CIY could introduce Japanese educational system. We paid attention to philosophy of education, and the reputation education and teamwork education. At first, I'm going to explain about the philosophy of education. As I mentioned before, in China, the culture of waiting on customers is not exist. So CIY teaches about the reason for employees why they must regard customers as important and try to behave to satisfy customer satisfaction. Like this, CIY emphasizes the reform of the employee's consciousness. Let's move on reputation education. CIY sets up the practice time of greeting for employees and lets them to repeat a philosophy of their company. Such like the habit of greeting for someone is familiar with Japan, but for Chinese, it is difficult to understand because they have a different culture. So CIY think repeating is a good way for them and emphasizes the reform of habit. At last, teamwork education. Retail industry needs teamwork. However, Chinese are self-assertive people and not good at behaving in the same organization. Therefore, CIY sets up the opportunity to experience working with someone in a group who are employees. By doing this, CIY tries to let them to think that every work doesn't success by doing oneself. CIY emphasizes the reform of thinking by learning this. Therefore, by these three reforms, we prove that Japanese educational system can work in China too. Okay, let's move on our conclusion. First of all, our hypothesis does not stand up. We prove that educational system of Japanese cooperation can work and bring good effect in China. In short, even if each culture is different, Japanese company can change usual place to good working place where employee can grow up. So I can say that educational system of Japanese cooperation can play an important part in connecting each employee. In other words, this is playing an important role in the world. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I'd like to open up the floor once again for questions about this presentation. If you could raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. Professor Oki.
Hi. Thank you for your presentation. And it's a very important point, I think, to change the philosophy or habit. But I think it is very, very difficult. And also, my question is, actually, Japanese-style education, OJT, is quite closely linked to the Japanese long-term employment and the Japanese seniority payment systems. So, do the company, Ito-Yokado in China, implement similar Japanese payment and employment system in China, or other types of employment systems or payment systems in China?
Same.
Seniority-based or performance-based. Recently, Japanese company implement performance-based payment systems. So,
We couldn't research about it.
Thank you for your presentation. Maybe I missed out or you talked too quickly, but I don't understand what is CIY.
CIY is Chinese Ito-Yokado. It's mean.
Thank you very much.
I think that's all the questions we have time for, actually. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Tetsuro Nita. Topic, information kills your talents.
I'll tell you a little bit about our talent. During summer vacation, I visited my best friend. He is a classmate and one of the very few friends of mine. He has a dream of being a consultant of management, and he is making effort for his dream. But then he has a problem for his dream. He said to me, I want to be a consultant, but some people have bad images for a consultant. Why do they have bad images? This question is a key to find our talent we still don't know. Surely some people have bad images for this job. But this is not only for consultants, but also for some other jobs. For example, artist, professional sports player, comedian, and fireman, etc. What do these jobs have in common? These jobs have a big risk, death, breakdown, and life. I think this is a reason for bad images. Certainly, this is correct, but I found that is not defining a factor in this problem. Defining a factor is more profound. I experienced that at the end of summer. In August, I worked as a staff of Open Campus. My role is an advisor to high school students. And in it, I came across two unexpected things. One is that most of the people didn't come there. Open Campus was held from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But in the morning, only one person came there, and he said to me, "Excuse me, where is the station?" It's not the job of advisors. But in the afternoon, 30 people came there. Sorry. The second is the most important problem. As advisor, in order to know what they have interest in, I asked the high school student, what is your future dream? Most of them said, I haven't had yet. I'm surprised because I believe the decision about the job is the most important thing in human life. Actually, in government research, about 55% of the high school students don't have their dreams. I think this is a crisis. And that answer gave me a question that this crisis is only the problem for Japanese students. How are the foreign country students? Do they have their future dream? To research this problem, I went to a trip to Kyoto. And there, I asked the foreigner about their dreams and what they did for dreams. But the main purpose of this trip is sightseeing. There are many people from different countries and of different ages, so I could hear many stories. I heard about 30 people's story, and I found they had a clear vision for their future. They were making more effort for their future than Japanese people. I took it for granted that everyone thinks of his future. But I found that is not correct. So I have to say, the state where you don't have any idea for your future is abnormal. You should face your future. But the next question is, why the difference of recognition exists? What is the reason why there are differences between Japanese and foreigner? I think this cause is in education. Today's world is information society. We can get any information everywhere. Our environment has changed dramatically. But how about the people? Did you change? Can you understand information correctly? And do you have information literacy? Let me explain the education for information. In Japanese education system, students concentrate on getting information into their brain. But in foreign countries, they don't. Especially in Western education system, the main point is how students should face the information and they have their opinion. We can see this difference in the classroom. For example, in Japanese classroom, students hardly speak during the class. While in Western classroom, there are many remarks or opinions. This is the reason why our Western students are often told they are aggressive. I think the information literacy is the ability to suspect. But the main purpose of Japanese education is to understand. So the student can't improve their ability to suspect. Well, what is the main information which most of the schools send the student to? I think it is like this. You should get into a good school, and after you get into a better school, you get into a good company, and if you work harder, you will be more successful. This information then is any jobs except a businessman. This is wrong because other jobs are also wonderful. But most of the students believe unconsciously choosing other job is abnormal. They abandon other alternatives of jobs unconsciously. This is a reason for the problem of my friend and good example that information kills our talent. Human talent are very diverse. People have very different aptitudes. Sadly, most of us don't notice it and don't use. That is because we don't have information literacy. Well, what should we do to acquire information literacy? We have to change Japanese education system, but this is very difficult. There is another way, and this is very simple. This is what I found. To think why. To think why you do what you do. To think your environment for yourselves. Why do you work? Why do you go to school every day? If you do this way, you can find many things you didn't notice. I want you to know there are many misunderstandings. What we need is a change of the individual. The change of the individual brings revolution to our society. The information literacy will change your recognition for information and will give you many interests and aptitude you didn't know. I believe to acquire information literacy, connect with having a dream. we have to make the world where students can have their dreams. Thank you.
And is it? Are you going to look after the mic for me? Okay. Right. Okay. So, can I open up the floor to questions, then, please? Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you think in the classroom, are we forced to be introvert, or is it more deep-rooted, like our social environment or our background, that kind of thing? What do you think?
Yes. Certainly, there are that, but I think the important thing is to change. So there are many history and recognition, but the fact is we don't have information literacy. So we have to improve in the classroom. Okay?
Thank
you very much for your very energetic presentations. If I'm not mistaken, I understood that your message was that excessive influx of the information or a shower of overwhelming shower of the information kills your, I don't think talent, but the potential of talent. That is your message that I got. But as Ms. Michelle Yamamoto presented, compared to Japanese society, if you're an English native, you have more access to much more bigger volume of the information. But so in your hypothesis, it means that English speaker may be much more killed by the information because the English speaker have more access to the much bigger volume of the information. So that I could not. So that's my question and my silence.
So we don't have information literacy. That connect with we can't cope with the information, many information. So we have ability to cope with information. So there are too many information.
Thank you so much for the very exciting presentation. I loved your PowerPoints a lot. And I have one question. I did understand from your presentation that many people are lacking this information literacy. You need to have that. But how can you foster, how can you give that dream to the people? What is the educational changes that you might make in a school if it was you who were in charge? I'm sorry, because we are overwhelmed with information, so are you going to take that information away from them? I don't think we can do that, but what is the change that you're going to do?
In our society, the opportunity to think why decrease very. So to think why, connect with, get many interest, and we find many talents. So, but because we decrease to think why, so we can't get many interest and information. So I believe to have many interest, connect with directly having a dream. Okay? Sorry.
Sorry, we're out of question time. Can we? Perhaps you could ask him individually afterwards. Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry, we're out of question time. So thank you very much, Tetsuro. And I'd like to welcome our next team of speakers on the topic of break meeting room walls. Ren Oya, Yohei Yumamoto, and Hitoshi Tanaka. Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you for coming to our presentation today. Let me introduce my presentation member. First of all, he's Hitoshi Tanaka. He's Yohei Yumamoto. And my name is Ren Oya. Today, we'd like to talk about a new business trend. More specifically, about the change in the product development. Let me begin our presentation by asking you one question. What do you suppose this is? What is this? iPhone? It's not. This product is called iFlask. You can use this product like this. Yes, actually this is a bottle for wine or whiskey. So if you have this item, you can drink everywhere, such as in the classroom, without teachers finding out. I never try. But I think this is a very unique product, and some of you want this product. And surprisingly, only 2 persons invented this product, and many customers participate in the product development of this item. Like this, customers start to participate in the product development. This is a big change, because customers couldn't participate in the product development for a long time. In the past, limited number of employees in a company plan a new product and make products for customers. They analyze the customers' needs and make products. Customers naturally couldn't have a way to communicate with companies interactively. So you can see walls between companies and customers. But now, we can use the internet and we can connect with others very easily. So, customers can start to participate in the product development. For example, customers can post their opinion or ideas on the company's website or Facebook page. And customers can communicate with companies interactively. So we think the internet breaks the walls of a meeting room. Let's repeat the main point again. Customers start to participate in the product development. Then Mr. Yumoto shows you more examples that customers play an important role in the product development.
Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce you 2 examples that customers play an important role in product development. The first one is Trippies, and the second one is Regokuso. First, I'd like to introduce you what is Trippies. Trippies is a website for tourists. By using this website, you can create unique tour program. For example, this is one of the famous tour program that the customer created. This tour is for Laos, and you can learn how to ride an elephant. This sounds very interesting. So let's follow the step to use Trippies. First, make tour program and post it on the website. Then, everyone on this website can see your tour program, and if they like your program, they can join to your tour program. So you can go with other people and decide the detail of the tour, and then travel agency such as HIS or JTB will arrange the tour for you. So you just have to make a plan and enjoy your tour. This is the service of the Trippies. Let's move on to the next example. This service is called Lego Kuso. I think you would know Lego. It's famous for the manufacturer of Lego block. And I think Lego Kuso is a very nice service for Lego mania. This is the website of Lego Kuso. By using this website, you can create your original design of Lego. Let's follow the step. First, post your design on the website. And if someone likes your design, they push support button. And if you can get 10,000 supporters, then Lego staff will evaluate your plan, your design, and they judge whether your product can be commercialized or not. And if they say, okay, we'll make this product, that means your design will become a product. Congratulations. So, in short, Lego Kuso gives you a chance to become a member of product development of Lego. Here, I showed 2 examples. And next person, Mr. Tanaka, review our presentation.
Today, we showed 2 examples, Trippies and Lego Kuso. As we looked through, these companies have very unique product development system. That is, customers can participate in product development by connecting with others or companies on the internet. We think this unique system has some benefits. I'll show you 3 benefits from now. First, bring innovation. Second, utilize customers' ideas without hiring customers. Third, increase customers' loyalty. Please look at this picture. Some of customers have very unique ideas for some products, and they are willing to work for companies voluntarily. It's not for money. They leave very constructive comments on company websites because they love company or company's product, and they want to improve the company's product quality. So, companies can use customers' ideas to improve their product quality. There is one more benefit. When companies accept customers' opinion sincerely, customers like these companies more. All these benefits considered, we think more companies will work with customers to improve their product quality or to create very unique products. At the end of our presentation, let's look back at the history. In 1989, as you know, Berlin Wall was broken, and the new times began. Today, people break another wall. It is a wall of product development meeting room. Companies want your opinion, your ideas, even complaints. Let's work with companies and let's create very unique products. That brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
very much. Okay, you can look after the microphone. Right, can I welcome questions from the floor then? Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very informative. I learned a lot from you guys. Really good, really nicely presented. I like Lego, so when I see Lego, I get pretty excited. My question is, how successful are these products? What I mean is, like, no, I understand the products are out there, but how commercially successful are they? Will companies be able to, utilize that as a long-term strategy for profit and growth? And if so, like, what do you think? Like, how would it revolutionize the business or retail industry?
Thank you for your question. I think this trend is still the transitional position, so it's not so easy to change the production development cycle. So now still not good sales, but we think this kind of production development will become more important because many of customers now have Facebook or Twitter, so they can change opinion of the product with other customers. So customers should hear their opinion. Is that answer to? Thank you.
I think we've got a question, Professor Oshiage. No? Okay, other questions, if you'd like to raise your hands.
Thank you for your presentation. And I haven't understand the last page of your presentation. Could you please explain once again? This one, the breaking a wall, something. Could you please explain once again? Because I haven't got any implication of your presentation.
Okay. Before this start, the company staff, only company staff develops the product, and the customer just buy their product. But now, customer can connect with the company by using like a Facebook page or the website of the company. So the customer can connect with the company. So we say that this change is like the wall break, and the customer can go to the meeting room. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all the questions. Sorry, it's very quick. Maybe you can manage it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much for a great presentation. I enjoyed the idea of the consumer or the power of the cloud with the IT. You mentioned the three benefits of this idea from the company's side. But what are the benefits or the motivation for the customer side to participate in this process?
We think that one of the benefits for customer is we can create very unique product. Before this kind of system began, this kind of maniac product can't be commercialized. But now the customer say the opinion to the company. So that kind of benefit will be start.
Okay, great.
Is that enough?
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. So our next group of presenters, the title of the presentation is Of Us, By Us, For Us, and the presenters are Yusuke Hirota, Kazuya Yamashita, Akise Sataki, and Natsuki Saito. If you could come to the front, please.
Hello, everyone. Are you tired? We are also tired. But after this presentation, we can take a break. Anyway, my name is Yusuke, and next to Akise, Kazuya, Natsuki. What can we do to join global society as college student? Consider the theme of this presentation. We pictured Olympic Games. Olympic Games is a stage that representative players of each country unite and compete in front of the world. That's why we believe the Olympics are suitable for this theme. We would like to present three things. To begin with, the current situation of university students in Japan. In the second place, the way to hold Junior Olympic Games. Finally, the vision after first Junior Olympics.
At first, we talk about the issues that Japanese university students have. The first graph indicates changes in number of Japanese students going to study abroad. The number in 2010 decreased 30% in comparison with 2004, which have the peak number. The next graph indicates changes in number of students from China, India, South Korea, and Japan to study abroad in the University of US. Other countries have been increasing between 2002 and 2012. However, the number of Japanese students have been decreasing. These two graphs show that Japanese students are more and more introverted recently, while students all over the world are more interested in the global activity. In addition, it is to be said well, the Japanese have these characters: shy, passive, the lack of English communication skill, they can't speak in front of much audience with confidence. In the increasingly globalized world, the day when we compete in job hunting with foreigners will come. In fact, Panasonic and Fast Retailing hire more foreigners than Japanese in 2013. In this circumstance, we think it is most important for Japanese university students to stop thinking inward and join the global activity. However, there are too few opportunities that Japanese students can participate in the event that people all over the world involved. Therefore, we suggest the Junior Olympics.
Next, we'll talk about the detail of Junior Olympic. And first, I talk about the concept. The participants, the players who are elementary and middle school students, and we hold these 7 events: swimming, basketball, soccer, badminton, volleyball, table tennis, and tennis. And this is because we think familiar to many people. These are popular sports in junior generation. Next, the date of Olympic. We hold Junior Olympic in 2020. Of course, it is the year we will be held in Tokyo Olympics. We think that interest around the world is focused on Tokyo. Moreover, the need for English is increasing too. And the participants are students, so we carried it out in winter vacation after the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic end. Next, about the location. we use facilities of gymnasium and was used in Tokyo Olympic as a place. And also we learn facilities of national facilities in existing. For example, Yoyogi Gymnasium. And the location of athlete village also use Harumi in Odaiba, which is the site of Tokyo Olympics too. The next, I talk about the expense of Junior Olympic. Expected spectators assume 2,000 people. The price of ticket is 2,000 yen. That is the price. That is the price, half price of Tokyo Olympic. Furthermore, the profit is 1 million yen and budget is 3 million yen. Next. So how we can manage the Junior Olympic Games? So it is enable for us to establish Junior Olympic organization. Each university in Japan. We believe that Junior Olympic Game is an opportunity for students to play an active role in global society by realizing their own roles. In Junior Olympic organization, we divide into 3 parts: management, plan, and public relation. At first, management is communicate with foreign athletes. For example, information desk, announcement, interpreter, and guard. Next, plan is making schedule, the detail of place, money, and arrangement. Finally, public relation is advertisement using SNS, reporting game result, and commercial message. Of course, management and public relation, the situation using English is assumed, so the English program is prepared for students, especially since management is different from plan. There are many jobs using English, so we strengthen their English skills for preparation period.
Now I'm talking about the benefit of Junior Olympics. It enables college students to plan and operate it from beginning to the end. Then they can gain a strong sense of individuality by playing their own roles. As a result, we can establish our own identity as Japanese people. Please look at this picture. This is the scene of Japanese and American classroom. We often hear Japanese people always have to have the same opinion with others. It is important to solve this problem. On the other hand, foreign people usually self-assert. It is necessary to play an active role in global society.
Next, we would like to talk about the vision of the Junior Olympic Games. We have 2 plans for the future of the Junior Olympic Games. The first is to hold this event every year, not just once. By means of giving this event regularly, we can make its effect on Japanese students more widely and profound. Compared with the current Olympic Games, which are held every 4 years, the opportunities for the students to join will be more widely and provided. The second plan is to expand the scale of the event steadily. If the scale of the event to be develops, the number of students to be involved will also grow. Then, how can we make this event grow? Financially, our plan is to use the profit we made in the previous year. The more profit we can make this year, the more money we can spend for the event next year. In this way, our project will keep growing from year to year.
In conclusion, we should manage something by ourselves. Junior Olympic is the opportunity to learn English and a means to gain a strong sense of individuality. As globalization grows, we Japanese have established our own identity in order to play an active role. What can we do to join the global society? The Junior Olympics is the answer. Thank you for listening.
Right, thank you very much. And I'd like to open up the floor again for 2 questions. Yes.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Maybe the second last slide. So you explained about the increase in the budget, or why such an increase in budget, annual increase happens. I don't understand.
We will minimize the costs rewarding the actual expenditure, and if our Olympic Games will be known to the world and win the popularity, our Olympic tickets can be raised.
Thank you. Yes. Sure.
There are 4 people on the podium, and many of you are interested. Okay, who is interested in studying abroad? The number of the students who are interested in studying abroad is, decreasing. But okay, you young people on the podium. So, any of you who is interested in studying abroad after graduation, or when you're in the undergraduate?
I think you all have to answer that question, yeah?
Kazia, are you interested in studying abroad? Yeah. After graduation? Yeah. All of you? Yeah. Okay, all of you. Yeah, that's very good. That's your dream. Yeah. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Last question.
I want to ask, which point is connected with our topic, the connecting individuals to the world? Can you explain that about it?
One more, please.
Oh, this which point is connected with our topic, today's topic, the connecting with the world?
Yeah. In Junior Olympics, all university students have their own jobs. So, by playing their own jobs, they can establish their own identities and gain a strong sense of individuality. So, we think this is the important point to connect with the world. Is the answer okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And as Yusuke pointed out at the beginning of his presentation, we're now due for a short break, a very short break. Okay, so we'd like to start up again about little after 1:15. Okay, little after 3:15. So, starting off our next session, gosh, a long word, cosmopolitan, right. Sorry, I haven't even read it right. Cosmopolitanism, right. Okay, Hiroto Miyamasa and Masaki Ikeda. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Hiroto, and
He is my co-presenter, Masaki. Today, I would like to talk about cosmopolitanism. So, here we've got our presentation's outline. First, I'm going to talk about cosmopolitanism. And second, I'm going to talk about individuals and society. And third, I'm going to talk about discovering ourselves. So let's move on to the first part. So Masaki, I've got some question for you. So could you tell me your view about what is the global human resource? Oh, sorry, you have the mic. Here you go.
Well, globalization enabled us to easily communicate with people from all over the world. So that's why we need to study English furthermore and experience a lot in overseas. And also I think understanding Western culture is also important for globalization.
Thank you very much. I partly agree with you. However, we mustn't simply believe that that is all what we need to be globalized. So, as you can see here, what we need to understand is we need to understand globalization through cosmopolitanism.
Cosmopolitanism, what is that?
Originally, this word derives from the ancient Greek related to the era of Alexander the Great. Here we've got the definition of cosmopolitanism. However, our definition of cosmopolitanism is not as same as ancient definition. So, I'd like to show that our definition of cosmopolitanism is on display here. As you can see here, many society, individuals, and culture are connected closely with each other. So, accordingly, I could say that true global human resource is person who understand this identity and have their own identity based on this outlook of the world. So, I would like to call true global human resource as cosmopolitan. So, I would like to emphasize that we need to be a cosmopolitan before we face the world outside of our own.
Okay. Now the thing is, how do we become a cosmopolitan?
Yeah, of course, first of all, we need to understand cosmopolitanism. However, we've got two very important ways to do that. Of course, as you can imagine, go study abroad and have real culture experience would be really important. However, this step is second step to understand cosmopolitanism. So, I'd like to show the cosmopolitanism again in order to show the first step to the cosmopolitan. As you can see here, in the center, there are ourselves and our society has located. So in this sense, I would like to emphasize that this is the most important point in our presentation. That is why I'm sure that we need to understand our society and the individual in the first place before we connect with the outside of the world.
Okay, you mean we need to understand our own society and ourselves one by one?
No, they all come together actually. So as historian E.H. Carr once said, society is indivisible from individuals. So it means that society and individual cannot be separated from each other. So I want to see the origin of the word individuals. In Latin, im means not, and dividu means divide. So this word individual implies that those who cannot separate it from society further anymore. So that is why individuals construct the society by connecting with each other. So in this sense, I would like to emphasize that we need to understand society and culture as the first place. However, the thing is, to what extent do we know about society? So Masaki, I've got another question for you.
Yep.
So what would be your answer if you asked, so tell me about yourself?
I would tell him my name first, of course. Then I would talk about my hometown and my educational background, my working place, my hobbies, and etc.
Thanks very much. Of course, your hometown and the workplace represent especially your society which you belong to. And let's talk a bit more about in detail.
Yep.
So where are you from?
I'm from Saitama.
And what is it like there?
It's kind of a suburb.
So, what Saitama well known for?
10万石まんじゅう, you know?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
And and also I've got another question. And have you got any historical knowledge of Saitama?
Historical knowledge. I don't actually. I didn't realize that I may not know so much about Saitama, which is my hometown.
That is the point, Masaki. Because surprisingly, we don't know much about our own society in true depth. It also implies that we don't know about ourselves in true depth equally. So this situation will be cause some certain problem when we face to the world. So please let me share with you some of my certain personal experience in England lately. So I was studied abroad in University of Leeds until this June. And there, unlike London, there are few many students who knows about a lot about Japanese and Japanese culture. So I was asked many questions about Japan. And here we've got a question which I had in University of Leeds. Do you think you all can answer all the questions? Unfortunately and regrettably, I don't think I was able to answer all the questions fully. However, and one day, one of my friends asked me the most difficult question, which was, why you're not interested in yourself? This ultimate question made me realize that I don't know myself and my own society in true depth. So, as I experienced, even though go study abroad and even though you can speak English, you lose the first opportunity to understand and it can be said mutual understanding, you might be lost. So I would like to emphasize again, we need to learn our society and the individuals before connecting with individual and other societies.
Okay, it is interesting. But I'd like to know a bit more specifically about how do we know about ourselves in depth.
Yeah, it's true. I have to answer this question first. So, of course, there is a lot of ways and individual choices to make understand your own society and culture. However, my suggestion is that we have to start from research something which cultural and traditional, which you are very interested in. So, Masaki, do you interested in anything about that?
I'm pretty much interested in Zen Buddhism, the spirit of Japanese Buddhism.
That is really fascinating approach, Masaki.
Thanks.
That's because they give us many tips for understanding Japanese tradition and culture and origin of our own society. So, as I experienced, so on this and along this process, we'll be able to find new perspectives of our society and culture, as well as discovering more about ourselves. So, you've taken the very first step to be a cosmopolitan. And here we've got conclusion. So all we have to do now is taking the second step to be a cosmopolitan. So of course it is really important to go study abroad, speaking English, and have real culture experience. However, I don't want you to not forget the fact that we need to take the first step before taking the second step. So final message to you, from me, is that we need to understand cosmopolitanism of the structure. And then we need to be a real cosmopolitan. And we have to think that in order to be a cosmopolitan, that is who he learn his own society and individuals in order to connect with other societies and each other throughout, for example, business, travel, and business in the future, I think. However, this structure will be open our future and much more connect individual fluidly. That's all our presentation. Thank you very much. Sorry, here we got bibliographies.
Right, thank you very much. Thanks for the picture of Leeds. Yes, Professor Abe.
Thank you very much. A good presentation, because I thought your presentation was very thought-provoking. So thought-provoking was a very best word to prize presentation, I think. But a little bit ironically, so society reminds me of the such as words, already such as words. We don't have society. We have only men and women and family. So there is no existence such as society. So it is kind of cynical, but Lady Thatcher stressed very much, and she believed that's a real society, real world. So what do you think about her a little bit cynical words?
Okay. Personally, I disagree with her opinion, because apparently we are surrounded by society, family, cities, and counties and nations. They all count a society. If we divide it from like a family, we cannot be live on. Probably, of course, from money perspectives. However, it's our own identity. So I strongly refuse her opinion about her cynical way of view of thinking about society.
I think the thing is, if there's two people, there's a society already. The society is just a definition of a bunch of people and the relationship between them. So Thatcher is just playing with her words. And we made a definition of society in this presentation.
Is it enough for you? Thank you very much.
My question is very much simple. For two cosmopolitans, the Meiji University is the smallest society and community which you are identified with. So, do you know our big fathers of the Meiji University, or can you sing our anthem? Etc.
Anthems.
To really become a cosmopolitan.
Yeah, indeed.
You really have to know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm afraid, but I can't answer too much about it. That's why, so of course our origin is after the Meiji Reformation, three lowers established our university, and of course most smallest community is here, like business administration, which is oldest business administration in Japan.
Thank you very much.
Alright.
Okay, we don't have any more questions. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Our next presenters will be on the theme of marketing strategy of Mizuno in Europe, Kenta Michibata and Koji Ukeda.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. We report about marketing strategy of Mizuno in Europe. Presentators are Kenta Michibata and me, Koji Ukeda. Okay, we begin to the presentation. First, reporting about comparison of Mizuno and Adidas. Especially, please focus on Mizuno. Okay. So far, Mizuno had a sale around Japanese market, but due to effect of longevity and low birth rates, Japanese market is shrinking and not activity. Mizuno has been forced to shift to overseas market from Japanese market. According to this data, Mizuno is overwhelmingly small compared to Adidas. Especially the capital is difference of 60 times, and employees and subsidiaries is far less. This is sale date by region. As with first slide, Mizuno is overwhelmingly small compared to Adidas. This is business strategy. Adidas sells a product with an emphasis on fashionability, targeting not only athletes, but also a range of people. In contrast, Mizuno sells products with an emphasis on individuals' functionality, targeting mainly only top athletes. Okay, second is focus on Europe. We did intense survey regarding Mizuno's brand among 32 Europeans. The first question is, do you know the name of Mizuno as a sport brand? The results are as follows. Okay. The second question is, have you ever bought products of Mizuno? The results are as follows. Okay, if the enquete targeting Japanese, the answer, of course, yes. But in Europe, Mizuno is not so famous. Okay, change to next presenter.
So, from this part 3, we would like to explain our opinion to improve this Mizuno's situation. So, we thought, what is the best way for Mizuno, and found the way in Philip Kotler's marketing strategy. His marketing strategy is explained 4 sorts of positions. One of the positions, market leader, is dominant and is typically industry leader in its industry. It tends to be on the cutting edge of new technologies and new product process. Market niche is the best way for Mizuno that we thought. It is also called a focus strategy. It is hoped that by focusing one's effort on 1 or 2 marketing narrow segments, the niche should be large enough to be profitable, but small enough to be ignored by large companies. In the case of table market, Wilcom can be raised up as market niches model. You will know Docomo, au, and SoftBank. But Wilcom has high sales in Japan these days. 2 degrees for a moment. What is popular sports in Europe? What do you think? We thought football and rugby and F1. But in contrast, what is minor sports in Europe? Golf, baseball, and other sports are minor sports in Europe, we thought. We would like to compare football with golf in Europe. Football is high rate at first glance. Golf is low rate. Next, this graph is world golfer population. Canada, Japan, and USA are high rate. In contrast, Sweden, UK, Spain, and France are low rate. So, we thought focusing on golf as a marketing strategy of Mizuno in Europe. In the world's golfing population by regional groups, Europe has 16% rate. They have not their companies and skills in Europe because of low rate than other regions. So, Mizuno as a market niche can be expected from golfing market in Europe. And KMPG's Golf Advisory surveyed about world golfing population and junior golfer population. Junior golfer population in Europe are growing like this. Turkey, Latvia, Romania, and Greece are highlighted. These countries are growing, developing countries in Europe. This means it is possible to grow up as junior golfer markets in Europe. This graph is result of our questionnaire. The question is, why did you choose? As you can see, Adidas, most of answer about Adidas is design. In contrast, Mizuno is occupying function. So, in Japanese strengths, resource of companies are important in its industry. This is resource-based view theory. There are wage, brand recognition, individual technical skill, and talent. Adidas and some popular company has brand recognition. In contrast, Mizuno has individual technical skill. It is important to have their strategy through improving their individual technical skill. The last, in conclusion, Mizuno is subject to increase the share in Europe and using their high technologies, in other words, individual technical skill, and focusing on amateur such as junior golfer. So, Mizuno will be as world sports brand like Adidas to use their individual technical skill and functionality. These were all of my opinion. Thank you for listening.
Right, thank you very much. Questions?
Thank you very much for sharing your ideas. Today's general theme is connecting the individuals to the world, right? And I wasn't really sure how your discussion actually connects to that point. Would you like to comment on that?
So, and Mizuno has individual technical skill and people's individual technical skill. So, and their technical skill is connected and using and to the world, we thought.
Thank you very much for your interesting presentation. It was interesting in the sense that you linked, the content to management theories. But my question is, you were basically talking about the possibility for Mizuno getting into a golf business, and I kind of wonder that how it would be successful in European situation, because European people are, I think, very much basically interested in outdoor activities like mountain climbing, skiing, and those leisure-oriented outdoor business. And what do you think about that possibility for Mizuno getting into those outdoor? Have you ever thought of that possibilities as some alternative route rather than simply focusing on golf?
Yeah, we thought simply focus on golf, and so European countries has not their companies in Europe, so Mizuno can enter marketing in Europe and using their high technologies and their skills. And we thought, so outdoor, I can't think, I don't think how to enter the outdoor marketing in Europe.
Thank you for your presentation. And you said Mizuno had an individual technical skill. Is this means for developing golf goods or something like that? Actually, what kind of individual technical skill Mizuno currently has?
So Mizuno had, we have no time, so I can't describe it. And Mizuno has body fit golf technologies. So Mizuno use this technical skill and in body fit golf. So they can't enter the European in Europe marketing. We thought.
Why? So the Mizuno's technology is suitable in European market. Is this in the world suitable, or especially for European market? What is the reason?
What is the reason? Europe has much money.
Thank you very much. All right. Right. Thank you very much for that presentation. And okay, so our next team is that's right. So there's been a change around. Okay, so our next team is Explore Iceberg, Strengthen Individuals by Connecting to the World. And there's a sticker. Takuma Toda, Makoto Yoshimura, Naoki Ugawa, and Shoma Adachi.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Takuma. He's Shoma. He's Makoto, and he's Naoki. Today, thanks for coming today. Our presentation is about exploring iceberg. And we have three parts in this presentation. First, we talk about what is important about this presentation. And the next, we have some discussion. And finally, we will show you our iceberg. And now, many people think that explore iceberg, what is it? Okay, the answer is this is a metaphor of going abroad. And the main point of this presentation is the importance of actually going abroad. In order to explain it, we compare with technology and we use iceberg theory. So these three relationships is also important. So please remember. So we'll start an argument. Let me explain first what is the iceberg theory. Iceberg theory is very simple. Compare nation to a big iceberg. And this iceberg is dividable as three levels: surface, middle, and underneath. And you can see nothing but just surface on first glance. And the more deeper, the more difficult to see underneath. This is the iceberg theory. But recently, technology has a big impact on this theory. In fact, many people who don't afford to go to college or university begin to study with online class like iTunes U. So we can say, thanks to these theories, we can go everywhere. We can know everything without actually going abroad. So that means we can get to know all about the iceberg without actually going abroad. Do you think so, guys? Shoma.
I don't agree with you. Let us talk about our experiences overseas.
So please talk.
Hi, I'm Shoma. Here is a picture of Wataru from Google Earth. For it, we can visit anywhere in the world through my PC. Isn't it amazing technology? This is a photograph I took of Wataru. As you can see, they are very similar, but when you travel abroad, you see much more than Google. It's not just what you see, but also senses and communication. I went to Thailand this summer vacation for 10 days. How do you feel about these photographs? Looks spicy? Looks bad? This is a tom yum goong and this is a khao soi. Tom yum goong have strong smells of fragment herbs like a pakchi. Khao soi is like a curry udon. Maybe Japanese like it. Both of dishes look so spicy, but actually taste a little sweet. Next is communication. I drank with foreign people who stay in same dormitory at Kaosan Road. Me, Germany, Thai person. Then I talked about food, music, Japanese culture, and so on. My English is poor, but I can communicate with them. Of course, there are many happenings in Thailand like a rip-off. It means sagi. For example, I took taxi to Kaosan Road from airport. The driver said it's only 300 baht when I took taxi. However, when the taxi arrived at Kaosan Road, I was charged 600 baht. Yes, I paid double baht. Surely, Google doesn't give us happenings like a rip-off, but also Google doesn't give us senses experience and human communication. So we should go abroad.
I agree with Shoma, and my name is Makoto, and I want to introduce my deeper experience by participating in international volunteer program. And I went to Cambodia and Vietnam to volunteer, and I want to introduce about Cambodian volunteer program. In Cambodia, I visited one house in slum village. In there, they have no electricity and no gas. And I asked them, how do you live? And they answered, they showed this and answered, we use this battery and we manage to live every day. When I heard this, I was really surprised because I have never seen such a lifestyle in Japan before. And in slum village, there were many children who sold commodities like photos and toys and something. I think they are 4 or 5 years old. And even their ages, they have to work. And it is needless to say that their living is really hard. And I stayed in Cambodia just 1 week, but I can have really valuable and priceless experience. And I feel using my own eyes and actually going abroad is really important. And finally, what I want to say is that we can't know and feel the reality only using internet or TV.
I agree with Shoma and Makoto. I think live experience is deeper than online experience. If we take online class, we can't concentrate because teachers don't see our faces. Students might use cell phone or fall asleep. I was born in the United States and grew up until 10. This is my picture. What I felt strong is that the difference of United States education. In Japan, students just listen to teacher's class and take notes. In this way, it's just same as online class. On the other hand, in America, teacher tries to make students talk with each other. For example, I was in the class and I was talking about genius, and teacher started to make us debate if it is just a good thing to divide a class between a smart person and dumb person. As you see, there's a big difference between online class and American education. If we use online class, there will be no discussion or no conversation and no place to use what we learned. In fact, online class is a nice way because it won't choose the place or time, but in this way, we can have deeper understanding.
Thanks for talking great experiences, guys. So now I have to correct my idea. So in conclusion, I compare with these experiences to iceberg theory. First, Shoma went to Thailand and he felt things through 5 senses. And Makoto participated in volunteer programs in Cambodia and Vietnam. And he got to know communication and he saw the reality clearly. Naoki lived in US for 10 years and he understands the difference between Japan and US and he finds problems. So what they wanted to tell you is this: they actually see and touch the iceberg. On the other hand, about technology, you can see the whole iceberg and collecting knowledge about it, but you cannot touch the iceberg itself. That means you can know what the iceberg is like, but you never touch it. So finally, what we wanted to tell you is that connecting to the world by technological tool or actually going abroad, both are quite different. So we want you to going abroad and explore iceberg. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Questions about that? Are you going to look after the microphone? Okay. If you'd like to raise your hand if you have a question.
Hey, thank you for your presentation. Shoma?
Yeah.
So, did you negotiate with about the taxi price with the taxi driver?
This picture. First time in midnight and no booking hotel. I'm panic. So
Yeah, but I think next time you should negotiate. Oh, first you said 300 baht. I only pay 300 baht. and also, okay. Do you ask a question during our university classes?
No.
Why?
Why? I'm just listening, and I'm Japanese, so yeah.
Experience iceberg in the United States.
I like Japan, so.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your great presentation. I would like to ask you the most simple question. I can learn why we have to go abroad. However, and how important to touch the iceberg. But what happens next? What will be happened if we experienced all overseas, and how they influence our?
You mean what is important to going abroad, right? Yes. Going abroad is very important, as everyone knows. But what we want to tell you is the difference between just searching the internet and actually going abroad. So this is my answer. Is that okay?
Yeah, actually, I want to ask is, yeah, I could understand the difference, but you haven't got any idea for what would be happens when we touch the iceberg, actually, don't you? Oh, kind of bit outside of your presentation. I could understand why we have to go abroad, apart from just internet.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Okay, I want to answer, but we need more discuss about your question. So give me a time to think about it. Or maybe we can answer your question after the presentation contest.
Any more questions to be answered now? Okay then, right. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so our next presentation is The Fallacy of Online Social Media Connectedness by Chen Vision and Hayashi Seiichi.
Yeah. Well, before our topic, I'm sure the most of people in the audience would have this, or this, or this. Given modern days, the social media and social network platforms, individuals are connected as ever. Well, so we can just send a text or message to our friends or family or co-workers all over the world anytime we want. We are connected as individuals with the world.
However, that is a fallacy. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today will be presenters for the topic will be myself, Vincent Chen,
And myself, Seiichi Hayashi.
and our topic for discussion today is fallacy of online social media connectedness. So, right now on the screen is the number 130 million. Some of you might think that's the current population of Japan. Almost, not quite. Japan only has 127.6 million people. The 130 million number is the approximate number of mobile subscriptions in Japan right now.
As you can see, there are so many people are using their tax, and it is so important in our daily lives. So, we can see there was a lot of mobile phones, we text friends and family, and instead of messaging programs like Line, and Facebook, Skype, and we can see that what we're doing, like photos and tweets, the world is in our hands.
However, the world is actually not in our hands. It's around us, actually. Without a doubt, all these social media services, platforms, applications have made us rather fixated on our devices. For example, more often than not, we find ourselves in situations where, family dinners becoming like this, classrooms becoming like this, friends hanging out like this, and even dates are becoming like this. Seiichi, are we being more social than ever?
Technically, yes. We're talking about on the Line or Skype, whatever. We are focusing on our devices every day. So, when our phone rings, bang, what do you think immediately? So, if you see the focus on your mobile phone, this is why it's almost if we are isolating ourselves to mobiles. That we are trying to stay beyond online and message with us, with others. That is what he said. Cooper Tom did this. Color has your money. If our mobile phone rings, and we must answer. And if we ring our mobile phone like this, got a texting, or the mobile phone ringing, or is it just focusing on our mobile phone for the posting Facebook? This is just like some kind of some perspective in our future about the postings or tweeting is just our future. We are just thinking.
Oh, so speaking of those messages, tweets, and stickers, it's pretty interesting to know that we send a lot of those to our friends and family every day. Now, in a sense, we're always talking with someone or with their families and friends. However, do these little bits of LOLs or OMGs or stickers, do they count as quality communication between others? Now, before we get there, I'd like to show you all a breakdown of what makes up a good spoken message between individuals. So according to Professor Moravian's breakdown or communications model back in 1971, he theorized in a good spoken message, 55% of it comes from the facial expressions, 30% of it comes from how the words are said, and only 7% of it comes from the actual words being said. Now, understand, back in 1971, Professor Moravian theorized on spoken communications, not text communications, so we can't apply the model directly. However, we can still see that when we text someone, we do end up losing that 55% in facial expressions.
This is so important. Facial and body expressions are really important in our real society. But let me think about it. If you think, we can all agree that sending a smile to our friend is not actually smiling in front of them. Okay, sending a hug to our mothers is not quite the same as really hugging her. With instant message, it is a kind of little bit just different. Our the send message is like, what do you mean? Oh, is it smiling? Oh, is it really hugging? So our quantity has increased, but our quality has dropped drastically. No longer do we have to interact with each person, but in just like we can just send like OMG or LOL or the stickers.
Interesting. As you can see, we now have these young adults who aren't very good at talking with people in real life anymore. People are so conditioned to their cell phones or text messaging that they start to lose the ability to give quality nonverbal communication like facial expressions, body language, even hand gestures when talking with someone in real life. Why is that, you ask? Well, let's just say when you do this, you don't need to do any of that. So now we have these new generations of young people, and some adults too, who think that talking in real life is much harder than talking to someone in the virtual world. People can send hundreds and hundreds of messages a day, but when it actually comes to talk to someone in real life, let's just say some of us are more shy.
Like this. The Aaron is like kind of celebrating in his Facebook. He's so popular and he attracts on the lots of people's attention. And the virtual world, he's so handsome. And just like he just have confidence with a lot of friends. But actually, his personality is well. What do you think about that? Just bad guy? Well, no, I don't know. It's just like, we just, yeah. And why do you have here just split online or offline, the personal and the personal disorder? Like, Aaron, like so many people sees the factual pictures for their online profiles for escape from their reality. And that like someone is like become Spider-Man or Einstein or Kimura-san.
So now the question is, does that make you more social? When you're a very talkative and social person offline, but when you're offline, you're very shy. When you're Kimura Takuya-san online, but Aaron offline. Now, I understand that not everyone's like that, but the question is still there. Does being a very talkative person online, but not offline, make you a more overall well-connected and social person?
Please remember, we are not condemning of the use of cell phones, like online profiles. Just we can show our profiles, and we are not in share or the form, the discrediting or disregarding the human advancement in our modern society.
Even though our presentation is negative tone in nature, we do not wish to deter the audience from using social media. Instead, we wish to send a message or a warning of how important it is not to neglect the real world in favor of the virtual one.
So next time, whenever you use a cell phone texting or your computer posting the Facebook status, just put it away and connect yourself as an individual to the real world instead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions about that?
Thank you very much for your great presentation. I would like to ask you, and you said at the final point, we have to throw away our phones, and we have to much more emphasize to the facial communication, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and so are you really throwing away your device, and you're not going to use the social media anymore?
Not literally. What we meant at that point was next time, when you're focusing on your cell phone or your Facebook, think about the fact that sometimes there's a world outside of that, and that's the one we want to encourage people to connect with. We're always on your Facebook or cell phones. Sometimes it's okay to take a break, put those away, and go outside.
Okay. Thanks very much. It's enough. Thank you.
What do you think about the future of such a social media technology? What is your preferred way of the development?
Like we mentioned, undeniably, all these advances are very, very beneficial to human. We can contact with people across seas, across borders, anytime we want with instant messaging. What's important is to find the gray area where we have to educate people the importance of this is not just it. Especially in the business world, a lot of young adults, especially from where I'm from, they're not very good at doing interviews or talking with the people about doing business deals. So it really starts from the very bottom. You have to educate the younger generations, especially because now the younger kids they have access to all these pretty effortlessly. Kids have cell phones or Facebook, so it's really important to educate those young individuals to understand that facial and verbal communication is also very critical, especially with your success in future life endeavors.
Thank you very much for your energetic presentation. I think that any technological or social innovations prosper with some kind of side effects. So your presentation is much focused on the side effect of the social media innovations. But the social innovation of the social media truly bring us some, the benefits. So that to make it more, your argument more fair in the middle, and what do you think the benefit sides of the social media?
Well, like as mentioned earlier, social media brings us all together. We're able to communicate with people, fans, family, anywhere in the world, anytime we wish. However, we see that as we focus more and more on doing that, we sometimes neglect the world around us. So this is a transition from from communication to social media. At the same time, we're forgetting that integral part of our humanity as well. It's the verbal interaction part. People text all the time with their friends anywhere, right? It's really convenient, really easy to use. However, they focus too primarily on that and neglect the other important part of communication, which is the actual spoken, actually meeting the person, talking with them, hearing what they're saying.
Right, that's all the questions we have time for. Thank you very much. Okay, and we're finally on our last but not least, last presentation, World Me, Yo Nakamura, Sarah Suzuki, Yang Hu Ying, and Zhang Wang.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the last group, but not the least. World Me, what a childish title you may think. Then this is our outline. Well, you may be confused, but believe me, this outline will really work to make our presentation clear. My name is Wen. Please follow me to the point W. What went wrong? Everyone here talked about the advantages of connecting to the world. As a college student, we may first think of studying abroad. We really know the importance of it. However, the reality is different. Hope you will be impressed by the statistics showed on the PowerPoint. First, it's an amount of international students in the whole world in recent 20 years. The number become larger continuously. Next is a graph, is a comparison with America and Japan. You can see the gap become bigger. Let's look at the red line carefully. You can see there is an obvious decline of international students since it peaked at 2005. And the next graph, America owns the largest amount of international students in the world, so let's take it as a sample. We want to know how many students from China, South Korea, and Japan are studied in America. And at the beginning, they were the same. And Japan even were the highest of them. But after 15 years, the result is totally different. Actually, this is what happened in Japan. Those four figures show the trend of the world, but in Japan, it's totally different. More and more young people refused or missed the opportunity to be globalized. What went wrong? We provide two ways available. And one, let's move to point O, overseas study, one way to connect to the world. In order to solve the problem mentioned in point W, Japanese government took actions and announced 300,000 foreign students plan. Thanks God I caught a chance, otherwise I won't have opportunities to study in Japan for half a year. Actually, I am an exchange student from China, and this is even my first time to go abroad. Why here? I just inspired by my best friends. Both of them have experience in overseas study and encouraged me to apply for the exchange program of Meiji University. I can't speak Japanese, but it isn't a big deal. I feel happy to learn Japanese to master new language here, which can help me to connect to the world better. I think another international student, Megumi, feels the same with me.
And hello, I'm Megumi, and I'm from Taiwan. And our third point is reaching across culture. And this point focuses on communicating and experiencing culture by yourself. And this is my fifth year in Japan, and people always ask me why did I came here. Actually, I came here because my parents told me to do so. And I never thought of studying in Japan, and it's never my first option. However, I enjoy my life here now. And I faced some cultural shocks and difficulties. For example, like rush hour trains, people, food, and there are too much things to make just one example. But there's one more important thing like after studying abroad, and it's language. And I still remember when I just came to Japan, I cannot speak Japanese. And one day I went to the restaurant to order a bubble milk tea. However, they gave me the crab. And I was so surprised, but at the same time, I was so depressed because I cannot even order what I really want in restaurant. That's why I went to the language school for 1 year and got into the university. And even I passed the JLPT exam to prove my ability of Japanese. And I realized the most essential way to master one language is to study abroad and experience the life by yourself. As the slogan of Meiji, the strengthening the individual connecting to the world. I'm really happy and lucky I made the decision because it helped me to improve my English and make myself stronger. And I feel like I'm really making the real connection to the world. And there might some people think, and I don't have enough money to study abroad. So we got another way to connect to the world, and we will have Sarah to explain the next point.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Next, we are talking about another way to connect to the world. It's SNS, which means social networking service like Line, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. For people who don't have enough money and time to go abroad, they can access the SNS to connect to the world whenever, wherever. Besides, it's all free. Line is one of the famous communication tools in Japan, but the most of Line users are Japanese. It's difficult to communicate with people all over the world. And does anyone here use Twitter or Facebook? Please raise your hand. Thank you so much. If you have a Twitter account, you can follow the famous people around the world, and you can get the latest news which happen all around the world. Also, you can communicate with foreigners.
Hi, I'm Yo. Facebook is also communication tool to the world. Maybe you usually use it to communicate with your friend, but Facebook has another function. For example, Mazda Motor Corporation posted an advertisement on their Facebook page that they ask people around the world who want to be designers and providing their ideas for their new models of 2018. According to this news, SNS become not only SNS, but access to business. In addition, we found a pretty interesting project. The name of the project is Virtual Choir. First, we'd like to show you a short video. And the project began in 2009 by Eric Whittaker, who is a famous music conductor in America. He posted a score of his original song on the internet, and he invited music lovers around the world to record a video of their singing and upload it to YouTube. He gathered these videos and he made virtual chorus. Those participants have never seen each other, but they can join same project and sing together. This is why people can communicate with each other by SNS.
Finally, we'll move on to conclusion in our presentation. If you have a desire to connect to the world, you would have many ways, but we think most important thing is desires of students. Keep desire and passion to the world. The ways to connect to the world are not to study abroad nor SNS, but ourselves must have the strong desire to develop our visions. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions? Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Hello. Hello. You mentioned a lot of good things about the, modern technology, Facebook and Line, whatever. But you see, there's a very negative side. The other day, a high school student was unfortunately killed by some other friends, and something terrible was on the online, and through that communication, one girl, young lady, was killed. That kind of negative part is really, really important. So we shouldn't depend too much on the, modern technology. So we have to see two, faces, two sides, bright side and bad side, you see. So I would like you to keep in mind about that, you see, So English is, okay, not to change the subject a little bit, you see. English is one of the tools, and it's gonna be a big help to connect yourselves or ourselves to the world, and the world, as one of the attraction, the most popular attractions in Disneyland. It's a small world, it's really good. So the world is getting, smaller and smaller, and you young people are really lucky, So you have the modern technology, and I would like you to make good use of these, modern technology. So that's my comment, you see. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that valuable comment. Do you want to respond to that at all?
Thank you for your suggestion. Yes, we should take care of using technology because each thing has, like coin have two sides, each thing have its advantages and disadvantages. Here we just provide one way to connect to the world for students. And I think students can use this way to get a better understanding of the world. But yeah, we should take that in mind, that we should know its disadvantages and be careful to use it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, last chance for a question.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. At the end of the presentation, you emphasize the importance of individual desire. So please give me your opinion about how can people or university students can develop such a desire. Any opinion is welcome.
As the PowerPoint and our outline showed, first we provide and raise a question that the situation of the Japanese students, maybe some of them lack of the desire, and this is a question. And then we as international students, we share our experience, and I also said I came here because I was encouraged by my friends. So I think share experience with your friends who go outside abroad. I think it's maybe the best of ways because they know better of the outside world.
And thank you for your question. About this question, I think as an international student, I always think Japanese, like whenever Japanese say like, oh, we are overseas students, some of Japanese, like they refuse to communicate with us because we don't speak Japanese. I think the first thing is Japanese have to try to communicate with some overseas students, and maybe they will get interested in like some life thing overseas, and in order to build their desires. Yeah, that's my answers. Thank you.
After this session, there's a or dinner party. People.
Yes, but you know, as an international student, that's how I feel after studying here for 3 years.
Right, thank you very much. I think that's a nice note to finish on there. Right, so we're going to have a short break now. We're about just about 5 minutes behind our original schedule. So could I suggest that we return at about 4:45? Okay, and we'll begin then with comments from our guest speaker and also from the other judges. But before then, I'd like to hand the microphone over to Michelle, who's going to give you some feedback comments, okay, on the presentations. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, everyone, お疲れ様でした. And I see that your faces are much, much more relaxed than the faces that I saw at the very, very beginning. And you should be, because you did all a very good job. And I would like to make a big round of applause to everyone who just finished. Good job! And to tell you, I truly, truly, really enjoyed all of the presentations. It was a big joy to listen to so many different ideas. You all had the same theme, but it all came out so differently. Your presentation styles were different. The way you communicated with the audience was different. It was very good. And I saw that you all rehearsed a lot and did a lot of teamwork and communication among yourselves. And I found that very, very good. And also, there are a lot of information that were very new to me, too. So there were a lot of things that I learned from your presentations, and I thank you very much for that. Also, your English level was very good. To tell you the truth, I wasn't expecting this much. But it came out that you were well rehearsed, you practiced English well, and it was very understandable. Some were very fluent, and some who were not that native fluent, but still you did your best, and you showed your confidence. And that's the most important thing. Your confidence is what really conveys the message. It's not your pronunciation or your English ability. It's what you have within you and how you want to convey that to the audience. And that I found very, very good. And also, quick and small, simple advices. I saw that some did not have good eye contact with the audience. I know that you're shy, and I know that it's frightful. It's really scary to look into people's eyes. I do know that. And like when you stand here, you see so many eyeballs looking at you. That is really scary. But I want to tell you, do not be afraid, because the answers are in those eyeballs that are staring at you. Which means if they understand you, or if they disagree with you, or if they are if they're for you, you see all those in the eyeballs. You see all those in the facial expressions and the noddings. If you just keep your eyes on your papers and just read on and on and on, you wouldn't know if they really understand you or not. And for those who had great presentations, some were a bit too fast in some places. You rehearsed it so much that you had your own pacings. You forgot the audience's pacings. So if you were really aware of how much the audience understands you, depending on the places, you could stop and see their reactions. And that will help people understand you and relate to you more. And so to wrap that up, I want you not to forget who you are communicating with. It's not how pretty and well you made your presentation. You have to communicate with the audience. It's not a one-way ticket. It has to be both ways. So to end this, I would like to say that the presentation is communication with you and the audience. It has to be both ways. So please keep that in mind when you do a presentation, and that will make your presentation so much better and so much more sophisticated and understandable. So I wish you luck again for the results, and I wish you luck on your studies in English and your work on presentations. I'm sure that you're going to be having that again next year, and I hope you all the best at your schoolwork. Thank you very much for the great experience. Good job, everyone.
Okay, and thank you very much, Michelle, for those valuable comments there.